Good morning and welcome to this week's Monday Musings with Anna Claire. Now I know I told y'all last week that I was going to be doing a DIY craft this week, but I started thinking spring break is just around the corner, and with spring break, people like to take photos. And since I'm a photographer at the Daily Toreador, what better way to use that than to teach y'all how to take a photo? And I have a surprise for y'all, so watch until the end. Okay. So when you're taking a photo, there are 3 things that are key to making that photo stand out. 1, exposure. 2, focus. And 3, composition. Exposure is the measurement of the amount of light that can hit your camera's sensor. And so it's like, how bright is your image? Are there highlights that are super blown out? Or is it really underexposed where it's really dark? Paying attention to that and the lighting is really going to help improve your photos. The best times of day to take a picture are in the early morning hours and the late evening hours, right before the sun rises or sets, and those are called the golden hours. Now, if you're using your iPhone like me, the best way to take a photo and get the exposure right is when you use your camera. There's a little yellow box with a sun next to it. Everywhere you click, it exposes for that area. So if you click on a light source, it's going to make the entire photo look darker. And if you click on the darker side, it's going to lighten your photo up. So if you're using your iPhone to take your photo, the yellow box is your friend. Now, focus. Focus is key. There are some times when an image can be out of focus and it can be kind of artsy and aesthetically pleasing, but honestly, most of the time, having an image that's out of focus distracts the viewer and takes away from the image, especially if it's hard to tell what the photo is even of. So when you're taking a photo, pay attention to focus, whether you're using your camera, like a real DSLR, or if you're using your phone. Make sure that whatever the subject is in focus. And the last main thing to keep in mind when taking a photo, and one of my favorites, composition. Composition is basically what your image is composed of. What things do you include and what things do you exclude from that image? Some things to keep in mind when you're composing an image. If you're taking a photo with people in it, don't cut off at joints. So like, don't cut off at their elbows, or don't cut off at their wrists, or don't cut off at their knees or ankles. You want to make sure that it doesn't look like they're missing limbs. You want to make it look natural and comfortable so that the viewer of the image understands what's going on. Also, your background. Patterns are very aesthetically pleasing, and so if you could have a background, say like a brick wall that has a lot of patterns, that will really contribute to making your subject matter really pop. And lastly, there's this thing called the rule of thirds, and basically what it does is it splits your frame up into 3 columns and 3 rows, and it helps you place the important thing in the image in either the right column or the left column, in the 2 sides. And by doing so, you're showing the reader or viewer of your photo what's important and where their eye needs to go, because you don't want your viewer to be distracted. If there's a lot going on in a photo, that can really draw attention away from what the subject is. And so make sure that it's clear, that your viewer knows what to look at, and that whatever is there is in one of those 2 corners, so that it's not awkward. And there are situations where you can put it in the middle. You just kind of have to get a feel for it, and the more you take photos, the more you can understand when to do which thing. Alright, well, thanks for watching until the end. As promised, the surprise. For this spring break, the Daily Toreador multimedia team is going to be doing a photo competition. And at the end of spring break, for that next Monday of class, we're going to put up a slideshow of the 10 best images from students of spring break on our website. So if you want your photo to be featured, it can be a phone photo, it can be a camera photo, whatever, tweet at us your photo with information about where you took it, and our multimedia account is DT_photo. So again, tweet your photos at us over spring break. It can be one every day, multiple every day. Just send us your